Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Kamisha and thank you so much for tuning in. Now tonight is going to be a little bit of a story time. I haven't done a story time video yet, but I do plan on doing these pretty often because I want to share some times in my life previous to now in ways that could possibly help you if you are in this place in your life. And if you know me, I want to tell you that I am an author, I'm a mentor, I'm so many things, and part of my purpose is helping others become their very best selves. And part of the way that I do that and helping you become your best is sharing with you my personal experiences, especially times in my life that have really helped me and that could possibly help you. So let me get into this story time. I'm gonna be talking to you guys about how when I was single, I dated myself. That is right. When I was single for 6 long years, I dated myself. What do I mean by that? Well, there were times in my life where in my single journey, I was completely content with being single. I knew that I had a desire to be married one day, and I knew that that time would come. And I don't care what anybody was telling me at that time, what I needed to be doing, where I should be going. I was 100% content. I had reached a point within those 6 years where I just knew, like, this is going to happen for me. I don't need to do much. I don't need to pressure myself. I don't need to let others pressure me, but I'm going to enjoy my singleness and I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest. And that's exactly what I did. Things that I began to do to maximize my singleness journey was I started developing quality friendships because I just knew that it would be so much better for me to go through this season of my life with other ladies who were like-minded and also being kind of content where they were as well. It makes it very easy when you're going through a part of life where you can talk to someone, you can look back or be sharpened or encouraged by someone else. So that's what I started doing. I remember during this time, toward the end of my single journey, where I met some friends and we all were in pursuit of a relationship with God. You know, I really was desiring a deeper relationship with God, and that's pretty much what I was doing while I was single. Meet other women who also had that same mind, and we actually started a Bible study together where we would meet up at like different places, either at somebody's house or at Panera, and we would literally go through like a Bible study together and just share situations and things to encourage each other. And that really made single life easier because when you know that you're not alone, when you know that you're doing certain things in your singleness, like abstaining for the right person or just keeping yourself and all those type of things, it just makes it much more easy. Another thing that I did to maximize my single journey was I took myself out on dates. Yeah, I literally would go to like the nicest restaurant. Either it was a place that I loved going or a place that I'd always wanted to go, and I would make a reservation and take myself out on a date. Now, I specifically remember a time in my life when I had a dream and a desire to become an author. And this is before I even wrote my very first book. It was just an aspiration that I always had. And when I got very determined that this could become my reality, man, I spent time on dates with myself where I would literally go to like a really nice restaurant, get a table for one, and I had a little journal. And while I was sitting there, I'd order my food and I'd start writing parts of my first book. And looking back on this time, I think it was so special to me because I really got comfortable with dreaming. I really got comfortable with having goals and aspirations. And I was really self-motivated. And even if I didn't have that relationship or a marriage that I actually knew I'd one day have, there was something on the inside of me that always wanted to strive to be better. And the guy was like, "Are you waiting for someone to come?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's just me." And he was like, "It's just you?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just me." And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. You just eat by yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay." So he took my order, went in the back, did everything. So the guy asked me, he was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I was like, "Sure." He's like, "What are you working on?" And I was like, "I'm actually working on a book." He was like, "You're writing a book?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm writing my first book." And he was like asking me what it's about, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like always a conversation starter whenever I take myself out and I'd be working on my book because it really showed me how committed I was to like the life that I always knew I wanted. I knew that at this point in my life that I wanted to one day be an author. I wanted to write books to inspire people and encourage people and help them in their journey, at least on things that I had experienced for myself. And so that's what I did. I would take myself out to nice restaurants and I would pay for my own dinner. And I never wanted to be in a place when I was single where I was like waiting for a man to sweep me off my feet or waiting for a man to come and give me the things that I really could have been experiencing myself. Not to say that, you know, when that time did come, I wasn't appreciative or I wasn't, you know, feeling really special about the moments, because I did. But prior to that, it was like I wasn't really easily swayed because I just never wanted to go on a date with a guy for like a free meal. I never was that type of person to be like, oh, I might as well go out, it's the weekend, and I might as well just eat a free meal. Like, I never felt the need to take advantage of someone's presence. First of all, I didn't even want to be in someone's presence if I genuinely did not want to be in their presence. I don't care what place they were taking me to or how much the food cost or that it was a free meal. I just never found that to be for me. So that's just something I did. And there was also times when I learned to travel. I always loved traveling since I was a little girl, and I've been fortunate enough to do that since I was younger. So as I got older and I was on my single journey, I would book trips. I traveled solo. I traveled with friends. I traveled with family. It did not matter. And the very first time that I traveled, like on a trip to someplace I'd never been before, like by myself, was when I went to Boston, Massachusetts. And it was probably one of the most impactful weekends of my life to date. Why am I saying this? Because, like I said, I had never been to Boston before at all. In other places I had traveled by myself, but I'd already been there before, like going back to my hometown in New Jersey or going someplace like in Atlanta where I've been a few times before. But this was different. Going to Boston was like brand new to me, never been there before. I went there with the purpose of attending a business conference at Harvard University, one of the most prestigious Ivy League schools in the world. And so just investing in myself like that as a single person really has shaped who I am today, because I know like my potential because of the things that I did when I was by myself and wasn't really depending on a guy to like validate my worth or tell me, oh, you're so smart. Oh, you did this. That's so impressive. Like, I didn't have that at that time, and I really realized I didn't need it. So the first time I went to Boston, you know, I booked my trip in advance, went to Boston in February. The conference was like the end of February. It was like a 3-day conference. Got there on a Friday, left on a Monday. And it was literally so cold in Boston. I still remember it being like 8 degrees at this time. I don't remember the last time I've been anywhere where it was that cold, but I really got out of my comfort zone because I went to Harvard and I knew no one that attended Harvard. I knew no one in that area. All I did was register for the conference and I went. And it was such an interesting but humbling experience for me. But what was really humbling about it was that there were so many different people from different walks of life, different countries, different ethnicities, and everyone was so poised. I felt everyone was so cultured. Everyone in the room was smart. Everyone in the room was pursuing a degree or had a degree. So like there was no big I, little you. Like everyone was doing their thing. And what it showed me is that, wow, the world is so big. The world is so grand. And just because you haven't been someplace before, you know, it doesn't mean that you're like the best. You might be one of the best at your job, but you're not the best in the world. You might be on the top somewhere else, but somewhere else you might be like a beginner. And it was just a great, refreshing, but humbling experience. And there were times when I was single that I would travel with friends. I remember taking a trip to Atlanta with some girlfriends, just having a good time and really just living my life. You know, when you get busy living your life, loving who you are, and also learning your purpose. That was another thing I did when I was single, was really identifying my purpose and my reason for living on this earth. Like I'm very big on my walk with God, my personal walk with him. And I would ask God, like, show me my purpose. Show me who I am in you. Because at the time I attended a church that was really big on like teaching to know your purpose and know your why. Know why God designed you. Know why he made you how you are. And don't ever think that who you are is not enough, right? Don't ever think that you need to try to be like someone else or do it like someone else, because you were designed this way with a purpose. So being single was a great time for me to learn my purpose and learn my uniqueness and exactly why. I went back into my life as I was single and I asked God some things about my life and why did this happen to me this way? Or why did I grow up this way? Why did I grow up in this type of family? And as I began to ask God those interesting but really transparent questions, he began to answer them for me. And he let me know that I designed you with a great intent and a purpose, all for your good. So even the things in your life that seems like they were not the best, or even the situations in your life that you don't understand now, I did those things for a reason. I put you in those situations so that you would be able to tell others how they can flourish too, being in the same situations. I gave you certain things to go through so that in your life, when you meet people that are going through those things or worse, you can tell them that it's possible to overcome it. You can tell them that there's hope. You can tell them that, hey, you don't have to fall into this category of being this type of person just because you grew up this way, just because you grew up in this type of environment. No, you too can still be successful and go on to do great things. And so I would say the key thing that I got from my single life was really learning my purpose. For those of you who are watching that may be single, I want to encourage you, if you do not know your purpose, if you do not know your uniqueness and the reason for your life, then I would ask God to show you your purpose, because you want to know that before you agree to get married. You want to know that before you're introduced to somebody that you're going to share the rest of your life with, because it helps you understand the type of person that you need in your life. Because I know that I'm a person who brings great impact to other people. My life is full of service. I get to serve families, I get to serve children, I get to serve young adults, and I get to work with adults in my business. So because my life is surrounded by serving, teaching, uplifting, and encouraging, I know that I need to be around a certain environment. I know that I need to be sharpened, or, I need to pretty much be around a certain type of person. And there's certain type of people that I can't spend a lot of time with, because I know what my purpose is and the way I need to be. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit about it. If you're watching this and you're on your singleness journey, I want to encourage you to stay in there, hang in there. I know that there's nothing wrong with desiring a relationship or desiring a spouse or desiring someone special, but you have the greatest advantage right now as being a single person is taking care of yourself, learning everything there is to learn about you on the inside, and learning everything about who you are, learning everything about your contribution to this world. And when you start working on that, time definitely flies. And before you know it, you'll be at the place where you meet that special someone, and they'll be ready for you and you'll be ready for them, because you spent the time discovering yourself. So that's my little story time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll probably do another little video about something else another time, but comment below. Let me know what you would like for me to share. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, always open to hearing from you. And as always, do not forget to be great on purpose, and I will see you in the very next video.